All right, folks, back on the Bossman show here with Coach Ed Conroy, the Citadel Bulldogs, back at his alma mater for the second time. Coach, how I feel to be back in Charleston, man?
Great to be back in Charleston. A lot of friends here, and obviously it's my alma mater, so special place. And my family and I, we're thrilled to be back. Have a lot of work to do, but it's going to be a fun challenge.
I hear that. And Coach Conroy, for those who don't understand about the VMI and Citadel, you all don't have graduate school or transfers coming in. So how does it affect your recruiting a little bit differently than most schools in D1 where they do have a grad school, they can transfer guys in and guys you all target?
Well, all of college basketball, between the portal and the NIL, we're all facing a lot of uncertain times, and everybody's just kind of every day you come in, you try to get yourself up to speed on what the latest thing is and try to get in there and battle. But we still and we do have we're a little bit different, very similar to VMI in a lot of ways, but we are a little bit different. We actually do have some graduate programs. Still very hard to play the portal game like everybody else does around the country though, at this point, because there's so many guys, and we still try to invest in those guys in a 4-year program. And when they you get them up to speed, you get them to where they can really compete at this level, and then you lose them. It's tough, but you try to find some of those guys out there that understand, and can really dig in for the long term and understand that the payoff's going to be there one day if they keep working hard and stay at a school such as VMI or Citadel or any of the military academies, because it is such a great education, and the bonds you make will last forever. It's really what brought me back. I mean, I have such close ties with a lot of the guys I went to school with and the alums I met along the way. And it's what makes these places special and why I feel very, very blessed to be back and representing.
I hear that, Coach. And when you go recruit a young man, you actually played at Citadel. You know what it's all about. You walk those campuses as a student. You've been in their shoes. So when you go talk to a young man, when they talk to you, you live what they will be living once they commit to come there and play for you in your great university down in Charleston, the Low Country there.
No doubt. And as we should, tradition runs deep at a place like ours, and sometimes change is slow, and there's traditions that go back 150 years, but things do change as well, and people change. And I, even being back on campus a third time, I catch myself sometimes, because I remember back when it wasn't like that maybe when I was a player, or maybe it wasn't like that the last time I coached here. And I definitely don't want to sound like the old man always telling stories. So I try to get up to speed and relate to these guys what they're going through. The values and the great education and the intensity of the friendships and the relationships, that really never changes, because the military, it has done some things better than anybody else, and been a leader for a long, long time when you talk about things like time management, daily habits, structure, teamwork, all those type of things. And those are things that just, transcend the place. And when you go out in the future, they really help our young men take advantage of some great opportunities that will come their way.
No doubt, because like you said, Coach, that education from Citadel goes a long way. They say on a resume, hey, you skip the line a little bit there. So talk about that piece of it as well, being a student athlete part of it, because I'll tell you what, my degree is not in communication, but it's in business. But it helped me along the way when I was a player, back when I was a player. So talk about the education, what I can do for internships for your young men, help those guys once they can play professionally, come back home after they're done playing ball and go into a field and be successful there as well.
Well, as you know, I mean, it is so competitive out there getting jobs these days, whether it's in basketball right away, or whether it's in, whatever their field of expertise and their major, when they do leave here. But, one thing employers know, they see, because you can get a great education in a lot of places. And as COVID taught us, in a lot of different ways, whether it's online or in person. But one thing people know when they see a resume of a Citadel, man or basketball player come across their desk, they know that, hey, that person answered the call every morning, got up and went to work, and was on the move all day long, and understood what honor, means. And so Citadel men and women, I mean, once they leave here, they do have a leg up, because just getting the ring and graduating speaks so loudly to any future employment, that a future employer, that not only are they ready to really tackle the best, and the challenges that are out there globally from an education standpoint, but they're also there's less risk because they've been through it and they've proven it before. It doesn't mean anybody can't fall into some bad habits at times or make poor decisions, but that person's been pretty consistent for the last 4 years.
I hear that, Coach. I'm gonna ask you this, man. Coach, my father was a coach as well. He's 81 years old, and I know I'm his only biological son, but he gets a lot of texts from guys still this day who he call his sons besides myself. And so I know how it is in my father, how he was his players. Coach, what's your motivation getting into the coaching business and impact young men and be there for those guys 40 years down the road after they leave your program?
Well, it would all go back to my family. We're my mom and dad, and they're both from bigger families and but very close families. And sports was always a big part of our lives. Education was always really important, and I just was exposed to it, from them. My dad, and neither my mom or dad did coach. Although my mom, she's because we have quite a family in athletics right now. She's on that iPad every night watching ESPN Plus, and between my nephews and my brothers and sons, I mean, she's got a lot of games going one time. So she thinks she's a coach, but nobody in my family was actually a coach. But just the education piece in the sports, it was just always something really important. And then I was, I didn't think it was a blessing at the time, but I suffered a tough injury when I was in high school. I was kind of like a lot of guys growing up in the Midwest. I played all sports, whatever the season was, I was playing. Probably was best at football, but I actually fractured my fourth vertebrae and separated my fifth and sixth vertebrae in my neck my junior year in high school. So I was out for a long time. Thankfully, I didn't have to get my neck fused. I was able to recover. About a year and a half later, I was able to start playing sports. I had to kind of get rid of all the sports except I tried to focus on basketball. But during that time that I was down, I just kept telling myself, well, I just knew at that point, like, if I can be around teams and sports the rest of my life in some way, I mean, it's what I really want to do. It really showed me how much I loved it, and when I couldn't do it, how much I missed it. And so I just want to give back and help guys and understand every day. You never know when that time is. You won't be able to play again, but you can always, kind of pay it forward a little bit and be out there and be part of a team. I just love the power of teams.
I hear that, Coach. That's very powerful right there, man. It's very powerful. And, Coach, like you said, man, that camaraderie, like the things that I was taught as a player with my teammates. We have homecoming, like a homecoming, Tennessee State homecoming. I was in Nashville where you was at Tennessee State, across staff when you got to Vanderbilt. So we had those homecomings. We come together, like we saw about something we did. We was playing together, experience. So, like you said, Coach, that bonds never leave. When you experience it, you never leave. And just remember things your coach tell us back when we was young. Like, it makes sense now. Now that we're in our 30s, it makes sense to us now.
That's right. That's right. When I was in Nashville, I could hear old Slay on that radio. He brought back all those memories of our Tennessee locker room when I was coaching there and coaching him. But yeah, you never forget those things, and you tell stories forever. And that's what's so neat for me right now is being back. I think the first morning I came in after my press conference, like 5 former teammates stopped by, and it was just really, to be able to see those guys on a more consistent basis. None of us are getting any younger.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, so reliving those times and being a part of it, it really is special for me to be here.
And Coach, since last year I left the SoCon, it's even better than it is when you were first left it the first time. From top to bottom, all 10 schools are great, coached greatly, and this conference was tough as nails. And you saw what you all did in the tournament with Chattanooga, what they did as well. And every team in that conference, it's a tough out. Talk about how this conference has improved and how you all can try to build to get maybe become a multi-bid lead eventually based on the net and how you all play non-conference.
No, you're exactly right. The numbers bear it out. The league has been terrific. I credit everybody, the coaches, the conference office, everybody kind of focusing on, the administrators in the league, just kind of really investing in men's basketball, and the league is, like you said, I think it's been 10 to 15 in the net out of the 32 leagues in the country the last 5 years, which is really, we're knocking right on that door of getting a couple teams in that tournament and making some runs. But I will tell you, that's one of the great things about sports is kind of arguing about the present versus the past, things like that. I look back at all the areas, whether when I played or then when I came back and coached. And I think the SoCon's been good for a long, long time. It's one of the things that makes it special is it's been around. It's the oldest league in America, and the SEC and ACC came out of the Southern Conference. but it's been good for so long. And there's been so many great players come through. I remember the last time I was coaching here, and I know the numbers bear out that the league is, terrific right now. But the last time I was coaching in this league, there was a guy named Steph Curry over at Davidson. We won 15 games one year in the league, and we didn't win it because they were there. Like any other era, I think we win the league that year. That same time, Andrew Godlock's over at the College of Charleston and Bobby Cremens, and they're really, really good. And Donald Sims at App State and Noah Dahlman's at Wofford. I mean, right on down the line. And there's a guy that a lot of people don't know as much about, but Kyle Hines at Greensboro. He's been dominating over in Europe since the day he left campus over there in Greensboro. Terrific player. So all-time leading scorers, and that was just that era. And so it's always hard for me when people say how good it is now. I'm like, man, I feel like I've been banging my head in this league for a long time. It's always good.
I hear that, most definitely, Coach. I hear that, man. And while your location being in South Charleston and having Mercer here out from Atlanta and Chattanooga up the road, I know you were trying to recruit here as well because you all coming in Birmingham too. You all come this way. So talk about that piece of recruiting the Carolinas and Georgia and Florida to find the right fit, become a Citadel Bulldog to help this program grow even further.
Well, as you know, I mean, we've kind of already touched on it a little bit. A great challenge in recruiting to a unique institution like the Citadel, but it also helps you maybe narrow down, who you're going after and something, because you got to find a certain type of young man that knows that he can thrive in this environment. But the good news is, and I've coached all over. This is my 12th stop, 32 years, and the talent in the Southeast, as you just mentioned, North Carolina. When you say North Carolina, Georgia, South Carolina, Alabama, there are players everywhere. Now we have to sift through that and find those right guys, but at least I don't have to go too far. I don't have to always get on a plane. I can get in the car and it's just in an hour or two, I'm going by a lot of good players, a lot of talent.
I hear that, Coach. I got one more for you, man. When you come to Atlanta, what's your favorite spot to eat here, man?
I don't pass up many, but. Gosh, you know what? We're usually on the move, so it's usually something fast because we're going through but you're kind of stumping me there a little bit.
Maybe the varsity for you downtown.
Now that's one that's hard to pass because, like I said, we're on the move a lot, and hitting that one and getting some of that fast food, not always the best for you. Recruiting's tough. I mean, I always got to get back in shape after a recruiting month, but yeah, the varsity be right up there near the top.
Yes, indeed. With Coach, I came through your games of last year over at Vanderbilt, man. They did a good job over there with the Memorial Gym, new scoreboards, and Stack doing a good job over there. So, but I want to just make sure I saw you all last year play. Now you guys made a good run, man. So I'm happy you got the job here. I know you've been here before. So I'm a martyr, so I'm happy for you, Coach. I look forward to seeing you at Chattanooga or down at Mercer, man, when you come play those guys this year, Coach.
Come on out, say hello, come see us, and hopefully we can have a good month here recruiting and put a heck of a product on the floor next year. But last thing, you're exactly right. Stack's got something really special going on there at Vandy. He's doing a great job. He's a terrific coach, known him a long time, and the administration there is as they should be. They're solidly behind him, and they're doing a good job themselves. But Stack he's special. He really is.
Coach, thanks for your time, man. Just do this again real soon, man.
All right, thank you.
All right.